What's going on, everybody? So in this video I'm going to teach you how to wrap your hands before you box, and I really want to show this perspective so that you see it as if you're wrapping yourself, right? You see your hands from the first person perspective, right? I'm going to teach you how to wrap your hands, and you're going to accomplish three things with this style of wrapping. Number one is you're going to make that wrist secure. That's what wraps are for. You want to prevent injuries, right? Number two is comfort. You don't want your wrap to be so tight that your hand is going numb, and you at the same time you want to wrap it right so that it gets the job done and you stay safe in there, right? And number three is so that it looks good, so that you don't look like you don't wrap your hands like a person who doesn't know what they're doing, so that you're gonna have a nice open palm and it's gonna have that nice clean professional look, right? So you're gonna start with your wrap unrolled like this. I have a standard 180 inches wrap here. I got these wraps on Amazon. These are Venom. I got them for like $6 or $7, but any 180-inch wrap will work for this style of wrapping. So you're gonna start with this loop, right? You're gonna start with this loop. You're gonna put it on your thumb, and the wrap is gonna go over your wrist like this, right? So that's the step number one. And then we're gonna go over your wrist, around the wrist, 2 or 3 times to make sure, again, to give that wrist support, because that's number one purpose of wrapping hands, right? To avoid wrist injuries, because wrist is a very sensitive joint. After you finish 2 or 3 laps around the wrist, you're gonna finish on the bottom of your hand, and we're gonna secure the thumb. You're gonna go over the thumb like this, and then you're gonna go up to the knuckles. Okay, so this should look like this at this step. And then we're gonna make 1 full lap around the knuckles, like so. And then you finish in between, on the bottom, in between your index finger and the thumb. You're gonna go back down to the wrist, and then around the wrist, and then from the bottom up in between your pinky and the ring finger. Okay, pinch it. And then once you go in between the fingers, you come back from the bottom between your index and thumb again, go around the wrist, and back up between ring and middle fingers, same thing. But now you're gonna come back again from the bottom, but not in between index and the thumb. You're gonna come back from another side of the hand like this, right? And you're gonna go back around the wrist. Okay, so you just went up between the ring and middle, right? And now you go around from this side, from the pinky side, around the wrist, and then now you have the last 2 fingers here, the middle and the pointer or index, and now you went in between all the fingers, and now you're gonna go back around from the pinky side, and now you're basically, the hardest job is done. Now your job is to just clean it up, cover the knuckles, and do more X's around the wrist. So you're gonna do this, around, back up to the knuckles. You're gonna make 1 full lap around the knuckles just to make it look nice and clean, like this, right? And now we're just gonna make X's around the, X's on the wrist, because that's what's gonna give you that security, X's and just laps. And you can just finish with some laps around the wrist. And now as you go through all these steps, I ask you not to pull on the wrap too hard, not to make it too tight, okay? You should not, because if you're gonna be pulling on the wrap a lot as you go through these steps, most likely you will make it too tight, and your hands will start to feel like they're going numb after 1 round of boxing. So I mean, you can practice this obviously a couple of times, and the more you do it, the more you memorize these steps. That's number one. And second, you're just gonna get a feel of how hard you should pull on the wrap as you go through these steps and you wrap your hand. But look at this. This is nice and clean. My wrist feels super secure here. Look, my palm is open. It feels super comfortable to close my fist here, I have enough layering on the knuckles, but obviously I'm gonna box with the gloves on. So the gloves are gonna give me the extra padding on the knuckles, so that's gonna protect my knuckles. But this feels super good, guys. I bet you you're gonna like this style of wrapping. If you're gonna try it, let me know how you like it, and I'll see you in the next video.